Now, there are only 25 days left before Election Day, and Democrats are reportedly terrified that Vice President Kamala Harris is hemorrhaging support among men to former President Trump. So they brought in former President Obama, and in one of his first campaign trail moments, 44 decided to scold black men specifically, saying that their lack of support means that their lack of support indicates that they are sexist and that it is not acceptable. Quote, "We have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running," said Obama. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. "You're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses," he said. "I've got a problem with that because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly here, that you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president, and you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that." And I guess, Todd, when you couple it with President Biden saying, "If you don't vote for me, you ain't black," I guess they have their reasons now?
This is not sexism. Every news report with regard to the black male vote underscores one common thing. There is a sizable portion of the black male community that views Kamala Harris as getting her rise in politics on the backs of the black men that she incarcerated during her times as a prosecutor. The exact numbers, unclear. But the fact of the matter is, you look at the polls, and there is some truth to that statement. But I think this goes beyond the notion of black men versus white men. And I think it goes to something bigger. And it's this notion, you guys know what I'm saying, we're talking about on the commercial break, bros are having their moment. And you see it with how Donald Trump is doing his outreach. He's trying to outreach to the bros who, for the last 10 years have been villainized by society. If you're a young man, black, white, it doesn't matter. You are being villainized over the course of the last 10 years. Donald Trump's giving you a chance to fight back with your vote. And that's why things like Elon Musk, the Nelk brothers, all these podcasts encouraging, to your point earlier, people to register to vote, especially those young men, is so crucial to this election. The women are definitely mobilizing on the issue of abortion. Donald Trump is mobilizing the men on the issue of, hey, it's okay to be a dude, embrace it, vote for me.
And Tommy, I find it massively curious and frankly condescending to hear from a president to blame those that don't have support for the candidate rather than blaming the candidate, because perhaps it's her policies that have led to underwhelming support.
Shaming your voters is probably not the best way to go about this. I know that Obama and the Obamas feel like it's their right to do that. To me, that's how their DNC speeches came across, that you must vote for Kamala. You must be excited about her because we're the leaders of the party and we say that you should be this way. But just as I said that democracy in January 6th, you have to come from a privileged position to care about those issues. To care about identity politics in this election in 3 weeks, you have to also come from a privileged position. You have to say, I care more about electing a woman or someone because of their race more than I care about my position in my life and taking care of my family. And a lot of people right now do not come from that privileged position. They might like to see a woman or a woman of color. That might make them feel nice, but being able to afford eggs and maybe a mortgage payment, that makes them feel a little better. So this is all about privilege. When you say, you better vote for this person, you better vote for that person because we need something historic or we need something that makes us feel good in the realm of identity politics. That's not going to work in November, not when you're coming off of Bidenomics.
And I find it confusing, Kayleigh, that for these individuals who have said that we are sort of stuck in the past, why then do they remain in the past by making it all about skin color or gender instead of policies, since it's politics?
Right. This is not the speech of a winning campaign. A winning campaign doesn't go out and beat voters over the head and say, you must be sexist. This is the speech of a campaign that feels they are losing. It's a campaign that feels desperate. And that, what do Democrats do when they feel desperate? They resort to an ism, racism, sexism. We have seen this playbook all the way to John McCain, Mitt Romney. This is what they do. It never occurs to them that maybe, just maybe, men, and black men included, want lower prices at the grocery store, want a high-paying job, want to be able to provide for their families. I had a friend text me last night and say there was a black voter in North Carolina that came up and said, I'm voting for Trump, a friend of his, I'm voting for Trump, pulled out his wallet and said, this isn't feeling really good right now. This is why I'm voting for Trump. And that is what is motivating this.
Yeah, no, I agree. Everything that Kayleigh said is absolutely true. And by the way, Barack Obama made those comments in front of cameras at a Kamala Harris campaign office. So he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew that it was going to get picked up and played and spread. And the reason they are doing that is because they are so concerned. The other thing, back to the economy issue, is that at the end of the day, this isn't going to come down to black, white, female, male, young, old. It's going to come down to the economy. That is still the #1 issue that is bothering Americans right now, as is immigration, and you can't ignore that. Neither candidate can ignore that, but she seems to be doing a better job at ignoring the main issue, and that is the economy and immigration. So she's really just, she's not going to come out with those ideas and those policies.
Yeah.
She's not going to win.
Yeah, because they fall back, though, on, but if you don't vote for her, you're racist and sexist.
I don't think it's going to work. You can't hit somebody on the head or whatever Kayleigh just said.
With a stick, beat him with a stick over the head.
Because people vote individually with common sense. Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.